Hi guys, so I'm just gonna explain what I've done. It's actually 6:15 now, so I've spent about 15 minutes with the babies. So as you can see, everybody's running around. The mom and dad was in there, and then the other babies were in one of the three containers that I showed you in my previous video. I haven't uploaded as of this time, but as you can see, it's pretty frantic here. So the babies, please ignore this. They've been at it all day. They're fine. They're completely fine. She's extremely vocal, that's all. She's the one pestering him, and then he's rolling around with her. And then she's squeaking her head off. But anyways, regarding Jules' babies, so I have 2 boys and 4 girls, and the babies keep following mom right now because I think they want to have a little snack or something like that, but I don't know. Maybe not. But anyways, so what I did with the babies, the easiest way is take them in groups. You just scoop them up in your hand in a group. So 2 to 3, in this case, 3 of them. And you just cup them in your hand. And so I'm only doing it one-handed, but you would hold your hands like this. So there's room for them to come out of here. There's room for them to come out of here, but not between here. And you hold this over the top of the container. So in other words, you would hold your hands like this. So they can breathe, and they can also get out if they really need to, because if they can't, 1 or 2 or 3 of them will suddenly chomp on your hand. It won't hurt, like it will scare you more than anything, and it won't pierce your skin, but it might scare you. So if they hop out, just scoop them back up and do it again. And then after a couple times of doing this, and you hold it for about 10 seconds until everyone settles, there will be a lot of commotion in here. They'll run around trying to get out. They can squeeze their way out if they really, really want to. And they might take a tiny nibble at you to try to bite their way out, but they can't hurt you right at this age. So after you do that, you take them individually. And during individually, if you hold them like this, they can still breathe, but they can't get out. But if they manage to squeeze out, or if they manage to bite you and you got scared and let go, grab them right away and do it again. Do not stop just because you go, oh, okay, we've done it for 2 minutes, and I was going to stop anyway, and the baby got out, so no problem. Because if you do that, you're training the hamster that if it bites you, it escaped, and you're not going to go after it. It's going to associate the two, and it's going to bite you every time you try to grab it. So do not stop the taming process if it ends on a negative. So if it bites you, or anything like that, or if it squeaks its head off. If it squeaks its head off, keep doing what you're doing. Squeaking is a hamster's way of telling you it's terrified, but it's never going to get over it. In its lifetime, it's going to be a rare one if you keep encouraging it every time it screams to let go of it. So when it bites or screams and, violently twists and turns and tries to get out of your grasp, hold it anyway. If you can't hold it down by the neck, hold it like this. You can also just do that. It's the same thing. But anyway, you could do this, or you can do that, in which case both sides will have a little bit of a gap. So anyway, you do that for about 2 or 3 minutes with each of the babies, and you put them into another tub so you know which ones you've done. That's one of the more important things when you have more than one baby, so that you make sure all the babies get equal amount of your attention. Otherwise, one baby will be more tame than the others, or some babies will never get any of your attention if you don't keep track of them. So after you've done that for a couple of days, they should get very used to it. One of the next things after the baby, because when you hold the baby like this, it should stop trying to get out after a couple of times of doing this, be it 1 day, 3 days. After it's ready to stop running, as soon as you release, you can hold it like this for a couple seconds. If it doesn't run, put one hand in front and open up your thumb. And if it doesn't want to move forward into your other hand, you close off this part, giving it a little bit of a tunnel and forcing it to go that way. If it doesn't, close your hand. But you want to try and deposit the hamster into the other hand and then open up and let it keep walking. And you just keep doing this over and over until the hamster is confidently walking from one hand to the other. And when you've done that, whenever you're ready to stop, you just go like this, it walks on, and then you lower it back into the cage. That way it knows that it's never forever trapped with you. But you got to make sure that the hamster's walking on its own. Do not just let it fly off your hand and into the cage. If it does that, grab it right away and start all over again, making it calm and then letting it walk. So that's the reason for making it walk, is as it walks, it calms down. And so when you leave your hand open, if there's nothing for it to walk off of, they don't run. Otherwise, as soon as you open your hand, it learns to just hop, and it's going to hurt and fall. So if you learn to teach it to walk onto another hand, it will be very, very, very calm. And that's how I train all of my hamsters. The ones I breed, the ones I don't breed generally will not do that all the time. Some of them will, some of them won't. But there's always a chance they'll bite you when you try to grab it. But the ones you breed, they shouldn't bite. If you start this within about 2 weeks of them being born, so, you know, when their eyes are open, it shouldn't be a problem. Obviously, with some hamsters, you can start the taming process earlier, but teaching it to walk from one hand to the other cannot start until they open their eyes. So you can start the taming process from the day they're born. There is nothing preventing you from touching your hamster when it's born, except for myths. Things that people say, like hamsters will eat their babies, they'll abandon their babies, etc. like that. I've never had a hamster being eaten because I played with the babies, and I handle babies from the day they're born. And I've handled the moms, and the moms don't get stressed and eat their babies either. That's a myth as far as I'm concerned. I think it's more important to know that you should wash your hands very carefully if you have other kind of hamsters, especially other species of hamsters. If it was like just another hamster of the same species, it's not such a big deal, but you should still wash your hands very, very well with hot soap and water. A scented soap would be best, so that you cover the scent of the hamster that was on your hand. And if you've ever taken a sniff at your hamster, you'll smell a unique smell. Each species of hamster has a unique smell. The Robos have its own smell. Even after it comes out from the dust bath, it has a smell. The Robos have theirs, the Syrian has theirs, they're all different. And so that's one of the things that you got to be aware of, is if you touch a hamster's babies when you've handled another kind of hamster, they might get upset. Now, whether or not they abandon it, I don't know, but they probably wouldn't eat it. The only times I've known that hamsters would eat a baby is if their nutrition is inadequate, so you're not feeding it the right food. If it's a really, really large litter, it still won't eat its baby so long as you're feeding it right. Because it's, how do I put this? It's not in the species' best interest to kill its own offspring. Does that make sense, guys? I know what people say on forums and stuff, but if you really think about it, it's... I don't know what his... What? It just doesn't make any sense for a hamster to kill its own species. It doesn't. I know that a lot of people do say that. But anyway, the other thing is... if you've accidentally startled them to that degree that they would actually eat their babies. But unless you just got your hamster, it shouldn't be a problem. They should be okay. And unless they're really antisocial, I don't think it would cause that big of a problem if you accidentally elbowed the cage really violently. I still don't think it would cause them to harm their babies. But anyways, taming a hamster isn't very hard. Syrian babies can be tamed in about 3 days. Even if you got them from a pet store. If you got them at a pet store and they're about the size of this guy, you can tame them in about 3 days. It is not hard at all. If you've gotten them when they're about the size of a large potato, they are a little bit harder to tame. But Syrians generally don't bite unless they've been badly treated or they've been really scared, like they've been dropped, etc. Or if they've learned that if they bite, people let go of them. That's what I mean by don't let go of your hamster baby. If it bites you, immediately pick it back up. Otherwise, you're teaching it the wrong thing. I don't know what he's doing. This is ridiculous. You poor thing. You know what? I'm going to do something interesting here. I don't want to get bit here. Oh, you're not very smart. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. He's not very smart. Come up here. You can get up here. I've seen you get up here. Come here. Get up here. I just don't want to get bit. Oh, you intelligent boy. Come here. Come here. Up you go. This is one of the other ways I train a hamster to get out of the cage. Here. Come here. Now you can walk on there. There you go. Is that what you wanted? There. I guess he's not the brightest crayon in the box. But anyway, in the blue house is chinchilla sand. It's just an index filing box, so it's the ones for your index cards, recipe cards, cue cards, whatever you want to call them, study cards. So you can get these at the dollar store for like $1. Sometimes you can get them for like 50 cents each if you get them 2 for $1. Cutting it took a lot of patience, and as you can see, it was a straight line, and then at the bottom it chipped because it broke. I was trying to cut this part, and it broke. But other than that, it's perfect. It doesn't cut them. And it was a really affordable way to make a dust hose. Originally, it was for my mouse. My mouse passed away after just 1 month. And not because I didn't take care of it properly. I don't know. This is my 3rd or 4th mouse in my lifetime, but all the mouse I've ever gotten from the stores, they've only lived about 1 to 3 months, and then they died. The first one was because I got him, and he was already so old. He was a senior, and he just croaked about a month after I got him. And then my other 2 lasted 3 months, but they were also... Because I didn't want to buy the teeny tiny mice. I wanted to buy the bigger ones, and the bigger ones were the size of a Roborovsky, and I guess by that time they're fully grown. So I don't know what age they were, but they were cute. But anyway, I seem to have a really short-lived experience with mice, so I don't have mice anymore. Besides, they stink. They really stink, so it wasn't worth it. It's like $6, and it lives like 1 month. I think I'd get more out of a goldfish. But anyway, I filled it with some sand, and it helps because the babies pee in the nest sometimes, so they kind of smell like pee. And so today they smell a little bit better, and they've all been walking through it, so it's rubbing on their underside, their tummy, so they're nice and clean. I don't know what his problem is, but guys, I'm gonna go. This is too funny.